In this video, we take a look at the case of 3 men convicted of a terror plot in West Yorkshire. On the 17th of October 2025, 3 men were sentenced at Sheffield Crown Court for planning a far-right terrorist attack in the UK. Their crimes were not impulsive. They were not jokes, and they were not online fantasy. Instead, prosecutors described a carefully organized, ideologically driven plot rooted in neo-Nazi beliefs, targeting mosques, synagogues, and an Islamic education center in West Yorkshire. This is the story of Einsatz 14, an online extremist group stopped just before violence became reality. Who were the men? The defendants were Brogan Stewart, 25, from Tingley in West Yorkshire; Pitzettu, 26, from Derby; Christopher Ringrose, 35, from Cannock in Staffordshire. Despite living in different parts of England, the 3 men connected online and formed a private extremist group in January 2024. Crucially, investigators believe they had never met in person before appearing together in court, highlighting how online platforms can accelerate radicalization and coordination without face-to-face contact. The ideology, Nazi worship, and the group called itself Einsatz 14, a name echoing Nazi death squads known as Einsatzgruppen, responsible for mass killings during the Holocaust. Inside their online chats, the men shared extreme racist and anti-Semitic slurs, glorified mass murderers, praised Adolf Hitler and the SS, spoke openly about an inevitable race war. Stewart referred to himself as the group's Führer, setting rules, uniforms, and expectations. The group wasn't just ideological, it was structured. Stewart acted as leader. Pitzettu and Ringrose were designated armourers, responsible for sourcing and developing weapons. From words to action. In court, the defense argued that the group's conversations were fantasy or role play. But investigators uncovered something far more serious. The men had identified real-world targets, including mosques, synagogues, and an Islamic education center in Leeds. Shared Google Maps images and location details. Discussed attack methods, including smashing windows and ambushing individuals. Stewart even discussed torturing a Muslim leader using what he called an information extraction kit. This crossed a critical legal threshold in UK counter-terrorism law: intent plus preparation. The weapons cache? When police raided the men's homes in February 2024, they found an alarming stockpile. More than 200 weapons were seized, including machetes, hunting knives, swords, crossbows, riot shields, body armor, ration packs. Pitzettu had also obtained an illegal stun gun, which he later admitted possessing. Perhaps most concerning was Christopher Ringrose's work on a 3D-printed semi-automatic firearm. He had already manufactured most of its components, a serious offense under UK firearms law. Prosecutors warned that if completed, the weapon could have caused devastating harm. How police stopped the plot? Counter-terrorism. Policing Northeast launched an intelligence-led investigation, infiltrating the group with undercover officers. By early 2024, authorities believed an attack was imminent. The men were arrested on the 20th of February 2024. 6 days later, they were charged under Section 5 of the Terrorism Act 2006, which criminalizes preparing acts of terrorism, even if no attack has yet taken place. This law exists precisely to stop plots before lives are lost. The trial and convictions. After a 9-week trial, a jury unanimously rejected claims that the men were fantasists. All 3 were convicted of preparing acts of terrorism, collecting information useful for terrorism. Ringrose was additionally convicted of manufacturing a prohibited weapon. The jury was shown a 374-page dossier of extremist material, including a video of Stewart wearing a Nazi armband, skull mask, and German military helmet. Sentencing and warnings from the judge. Sentencing the men, Mrs. Justice Kutz said she believed all 3 continued to adhere to their extremist ideology and would remain dangerous upon release. Their sentences were: Brogan Stewart, 11 years in prison plus 8 years on extended license. Christopher Ringrose, 10 years in prison plus 5 years extended license. Pitzettu, 8 years in prison plus 5 years extended license. All 3 will also face serious crime prevention orders for 5 years, terrorism notification requirements for 30 years. Extended sentences are used in the UK when offenders are judged to pose an ongoing threat to the public. Broader context. Why this case matters. UK security services have repeatedly warned that far-right extremism now accounts for a significant proportion of domestic terror investigations. Online platforms, particularly encrypted messaging apps, allow extremist groups to radicalize quickly, reinforce beliefs in echo chambers, organize without physical contact. This case highlights how early intervention, intelligence gathering, and undercover policing can prevent mass casualty attacks before they happen. As counter-terrorism policing stressed, public awareness and reporting remain critical in stopping extremism at its earliest. The story of Einsatz 14 is not just about 3 men and a failed terror plot. It's a warning about how hatred can escalate quietly, digitally, and dangerously if left unchecked. Thanks to early intervention, this plot ended in a courtroom, not a crime scene. Before we end, we want to acknowledge that real people are involved in these stories. Our goal is always to share these stories with care, accuracy, and respect. If you find value in thoughtful, fact-based coverage like this, we post new content regularly. You can subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos and turn on notifications if you'd like to be alerted when we upload. Share your thought and let us know what you think of this case in the comments section. Thank you for watching. See you next time.